So in the previous classes, we were discussing from 4th canto, chapter 1, 2, 3. So in the previous chapter, Mother Sati was requesting Lord Shiva that the both of them should go to the sacrifice of Daksha, since all the devatas were going and they also should go. When Lord Shiva said that we were not invited, she said, even though without invitation, we can go to our parents' home, no problem. So then, refuting different arguments of Mother Sati, Lord Shiva gives so many counter arguments. And he also predicts if at all she goes, what will be the result. So with that, Lord Shiva becomes silent. Then what happened afterwards is the subject matter of the fourth chapter. So in the fourth chapter, Mother Sati, ignoring the forbiddance of her husband, that is Lord Shiva, to go to the sacrifice of Daksha, she went there and was disrespected by her father Daksha. In anger, Sati criticized Daksha and gave up her body. So this is what had happened afterwards. So we will discuss in today's class from chapter 4 how and why she left and why she felt that she was disrespected by her father and why she left her body, burning herself. So these are the various subsections. So we see that Sati leaves Lord Shiva and her journey to sacrificial arena, where she was not received by Daksha, and Sati condemns Daksha, establishing Lord Shiva's supreme position, and just to get rid of her connection with Daksha, since Daksha gave her birth, she gives up her body by burning herself. And then the response of all the assembled personalities in that sacrifice. And when the Lord Shiva's followers who accompanied Sati all the way up to the sacrifice, when they started attacking on Daksha and his followers, Brugumuni created kind of protective devatas. They kind of defeated the followers of Lord Shiva, something like that. That's how the chapter ends. So we'll see in detail now. So starting with verse 1. Now, what is the condition of Mother Sati? Having heard all the arguments of Lord Shiva. Maitreya Uvacha Etavadukta Virarama Shankara Patnyanganaşam Ubayatra Chintyam Soruddhitrikshu Pratisankita Bhavan Nishkramati Nirvisati Vidashasa.
The sage Maitreya said, Lord Shiva was silent after speaking to Sati, seeing her between decisions. Sati was very much anxious to see her relatives at her father's house, but at the same time, she was afraid of Lord Shiva's warning. Her mind unsettled, she moved in and out on the room as a swing moves this way and that.
Yeah. Prabhupada adds this analogy of pendulum, swing moves up, front and back. So Maitreya is saying that the condition of Mother Sati, having forbidden by Lord Shiva. Having said this, and understanding for certain that she would be destroyed, whether he prevented her from going or whether she went, Shiva became silent. Lord Shiva did the needful. So he presented very logically, very reasonably what will happen to her. Because since Daksha is already envious of Lord Shiva, he did not invite. If at all Sati goes there, though she was favorite daughter of Daksha, but since now she has become the wife of Lord Shiva, Daksha will not receive her. And for a honorable person, dishonor is worse than death. So now Lord Shiva is thinking that I have told whatever I can tell. If I forcibly keep her in the home, she may do anything. If I allow her to go to Daksha sacrifice also, something can happen. So Lord Shiva became silent. Now he is in fix. He cannot do anything. He cannot keep her at home and he cannot allow her to go. So he could do whatever he can do and he stopped. He became silent. And then on the other side, in the heart of Sati, she became divided. One thing is, she was very much desired to see her relatives. So she came out of the home. But out of fear of Lord Shiva, out of fear of her husband, she again re-entered into the house. This was her predicament. Sati is in indecision. Lord Shiva understood that she would destroy herself either if he forcibly prevented her from going or if she went and received insults. If Lord Shiva forcibly keeps her at home, so she may commit suicide. If Lord Shiva allow her to go there because of insults that she is going to receive from Daksha, she may commit suicide. So either way, Lord Shiva understood that Sati cannot continue peacefully. Either way, it is detrimental for Sati's future. So on the other hand, Sati, who was desiring to see her relatives, she went out of the house and simultaneously being afraid of Lord Shiva, she again entered the house. In this way, though one person, she took two forms. It is understood that there was a conflict of equal forces between desire to see her relatives and fear of Lord Shiva. So, this is the situation. Both Lord Shiva and both Sati are in turmoil.
But you're using the term fear of the person. Is it fear or the respect?
Fear out of respect.
Why would you respect somebody if you fear that?
No, here the respect is that since she is her husband, now her responsibility lies on me, lies on him. As a bona fide husband, she cannot go against to. Sir, as a bona fide wife, she cannot go against to the husband's will.
Saying that it's fearing a person. Why would that person respect him? Number one, then there's no point. If that person is not protective enough for the female,
He is protecting. He is trying to protect her. She is not listening. She is not listening.
He's not going out. If he's not able, she doesn't want to. This could be.
No, it is actually fear. Fear could be multiple ways. So one fear is disrespecting her husband by not following him and disregarding her husband's instruction. And she is afraid that if I go, will he accept me or not?
Was that fear there?
I am adding to it. So it could be like the other way. Or fear that if something really happens as he predicted.
That fear is bona fide. Fear of husband, I am not able to have.
No, fear of husband will be there. Forget about husband and wife. For a spiritual master and disciple. When spiritual master says something, disciple always in two ways. If I don't follow, what will my spiritual master will say? But I cannot do. So it is like that is fear.
So he cannot. I mean, the disciple cannot do that. This is dharma sankat.
Dharma sankat. Now she wants to go, but husband says that no, you cannot go. So it is conflict of desires. Conflict of interest, you can say. So in that way. So now what happened? Suhrudidrikshapati durmana sneha drudati ashru kalati vivala bhavam bhavaniya pratipurusham rusha pradakshati vaikshata jata vepatu.
Sati felt very sorry at being forbidden to go see her relatives at her father's house, and due to affection for them, tears fell from her eyes. Shaking and very much afflicted, she looked at her uncommon husband, Lord Shiva, as if she were going to blast him with possession.
Her body was shaking. Jata Vepatu. Out of losing that opportunity of seeing her family members, her body is shaking. And out of fear of her husband, not able to follow. If she goes, she is not following her husband's instruction. Both the ways. Her body shaking. Sati crying out of affection, agitated with tears, upset by the obstacle to her seeing her relatives, glanced with anger at Shiva, who has no equal, as if to burn him up to the ashes. So, after their marriage, after many years, for the first time, she asked one request. She made one small request. My dear husband, let us go to our father's place. And he is not fulfilling that. And if she follows him, she will lose the opportunity of seeing or meeting her relatives. And she is looking at Shiva, seeing that you are the obstacle of me. You are not allowing to go my home, my parents' home and see them. So you are a big obstacle. And that went to the extent that she glanced with anger at Shiva, as if to burn him up to ashes. So it went all the way up to that point. So it is like that. So in one sense, she said that you are most merciful to everyone in this world. Why are you so stubborn with me? Why are you so, what is the opposite to merciful? Why are you so merciless? Why are you so cruel? Why are you so harsh? Why are you so merciless with me? You are called Ashutosh. You are merciful to each and every living entity in the entire universe. But you are so harsh with me. You are so merciless with me. This is not at all proper behavior from you. So thinking like that, Sati was looking at Lord Shiva as if she is going to burn him. She produced tears. Lord Shiva had no one equal. A Pratipurusham. She glanced at him as if to burn him to ashes, since he had prevented her from going to her parents' home. So that was the reason. So she is using Aprati Purusham because Lord Shiva has no one equal, or Lord Shiva has no one envious, no one enemy. So Lord Shiva is not feeling Daksha to be envious. He is not seeing in Daksha as enemy party. Then still, why are you stopping me from going? It is Daksha seeing Shiva as a counterpart, but Lord Shiva is not seeing like that. Lord Shiva loves everyone. In spite of loving everyone, why are you not allowing me to go to my father's place? So like that, she becomes very much angry with her husband, Lord Shiva. So then, this is the final blow. Tato viniswastya sati vihayatam शोकेन रोषेण च दूयता हृदा पित्रोरगास्त्रैन विमूढदीर्घनग्रहान् प्रेम्नात्मनो योर्दमदाः सतां प्रिया.
Thereafter, Sati left her husband, Lord Shiva, who had given her half of his body due to affection. Breathing very heavily because of anger and bereavement, she went to the house of her father. This less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman.
So, in this word, the Shokena comes. So, for which Prabhupada writes in the previous part only. In the last two lines of the previous part, if you see, since Lord Shiva could not be persuaded to give her permission, Sati took shelter of a woman's last weapon, whipping, which forces a husband to agree to the proposal of his wife. So, it is continued like this. Thereafter, breathing very heavily, with heart afflicted by grief that she is not allowed to go home and meet her family members, and anger, shokena roshena cha duyata hrida. Her heart is afflicted with grief and anger. Sati, her intelligence bewildered by womanly nature, Straina Vimudadhir left Shiva, who is very dear to all the saintly people, who had given half of his body to her out of affection for her family members. Sorry, Lord Shiva gave half of his body to her out of affection. So she went to the houses of her father. You see now all the photos of Lord Shiva, Ardhanarishwara. We'll read in the purport में proper लिखते हैं क्या reason है. So, two things. Her heart is afflicted with grief and anger, and her intelligence is bewildered by womanly nature. And she, leaving Shiva behind, she started going to her parents' home.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, here it is written that this less intelligent act was due to her being a weak woman. So, like we always see Maya Devi is so strong, and how can she be weak woman?
Okay, that we will discuss a little later. May not in the 5th verse we'll discuss that. So someone can read the purport. Full purport, chota only.
According to the Vedic conception of family life, the husband gives half his body to his wife, and the wife gives half of her body to her husband. In other words, a husband without a wife or a wife without a husband is incomplete. Vedic material relationship existed between Lord Shiva and Sati, but sometimes, due to weakness, a woman becomes very much attracted by the members of her father's house. And this happened to Sati. In this verse, it is specifically mentioned that she wanted to leave such a great husband as Shiva because of her womanly weakness. In other words, womanly weakness exists even in the relationship between husband and wife. Generally, separation between husband and wife is due to womanly behavior. Divorce takes place due to womanly weakness. The best course for a woman is to abide by the orders of her husband. That makes family life very peaceful. Sometimes there may be misunderstanding between husband and wife, as found even in such an elevated family relationship as that of Sati and Lord Shiva. But a wife should not leave her husband's protection because of such a misunderstanding. If she does so, it is understood to be due to her womanly weakness.
In the presence of her desire to see her relatives and fear of her husband, now she had two options. Follow her desire, leave Shiva behind and go to her father's home. Or follow the instructions of her husband, forget about her parents and stay home. But out of these two, so one is desire to see her relatives, the second one is fear of her husband. Desire was stronger and fear of her husband was weaker. Thus, she gave up Lord Shiva and with grieving heart went to the houses of her. And who was Lord Shiva? He is dear to the saintly and had given half of his body to Sati. It is mentioned that Prema Atmano. Lord Shiva is very much dear to all the living entities. And Yo Ardham Adat Satam Priya. Out of affection, Lord Shiva gave half of his body to Sati. What was the reason for giving him up like this? Her intelligence was diluted by womanly nature. So like couple of points here it is indicated. So Lord Shiva, his intention is not that she should not go to her parents' home. Because she clearly told, because your father does not like me, if you go, he will not like you also. So don't go for now. Maybe in the future you may go. So, but since she had her desire very strong that she wants to go home and meet her relatives, basically her sisters and her mother, she did not listen to the instructions of Lord Shiva. And she went. So here problem is we should not see this one sentence here as a parameter to judge someone. We need to take the entire pastime into consideration. Then we need to analyze whether this statement of Lord Shiva or whether this activity of Lord Mother Sati is appreciated or not. So it is like that. So many times if we take some statements out of context, they may not make complete sense. So we need to see the entire pastime and then follow it. And as Prabhupada writes that this good condition that always women supposed to abide by the orders of her husband. If the husband is religious, bona fide, proper, moral, ethical person, then this statement holds good. If the husband is exploitative, torturing, that kind of time, it does not applicable. Here, Prabhupada is writing all these statements, keeping Lord Shiva in the forefront. If husband is like Shiva, is so religious and wonderful devotee, then it is good for the wife to follow that husband in all circumstances. In that way. So we need to see the no, two things. I mean, we cannot take the statements out of context. We need to see the entire pastime. Falena parachayate. Because she did not follow Lord Shiva's instruction, what happened? Result is she had to leave her body and Lord Shiva has to suffer alone. So it's like that.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Prabhuji, it is difficult to understand, you mentioned that if the husband is like Lord Shiva, or even we see like even among the devotees, suppose wife, husband, both are devotees. Does that mean that always the husband will be correct because he's a devotee husband, and but the wife is also devotee? So we should say that even though both are devotees, because he is husband, his opinion will be always right.
No, here see the context. You don't generalize. So the point is here. In the presence of her desire to see her relatives and fear of her husband, the desire became stronger out of compared to the fear of her husband. The problem is having a desire is not wrong. Having an unlaudable desire is wrong. Unlaudable. Means that desire is out of permissible range.
The situation was wrong. There's nothing wrong in desiring to see our parents. Like in that
But now it is wrong. At this point of it is wrong.
timing was wrong.
वही बता रहा हूँ. Lord Shiva told that if you go now, you will be disrespected. For a honorable person, dishonor is worse than death. That is what will happen to her. So it is like that.
Because last time you only had mentioned, Prabhuji, that many years had passed after that first sacrifice जिसमें Lord Shiva was insulted. So she had waited for pretty long time. It's not that immediately she's expressing her desire that she wanted to.
Okay, now I will tell you one simple thing. Many years had passed. So Mother Sati had a desire to go home. But what happened to Daksha? Daksha is elder in age, father, mature person. Can't he have that common sense that he should go and pacify the matter and call his daughter to home? He not even send an invitation. Which kind of a father perform a wonderful ceremony without calling his daughters? Please tell me.
Yeah.
So in that case, what is better, to go or not to go? Anyway, he does not want you to come. So if you go, you are simply inciting his anger more and more.
Yeah.
See, I'm speaking logically.
Yeah. Understood,
You
Prabhuji.
may have your emotional counterpart to it. So even though as Mother Sati said that no, my father will not do like that with me, like that she told many times in the previous chapter.
Yeah.
So that's why sometimes we need to follow logic. Emotion does not work always.
Yes, Prabhuji. Understood. Thank you.
That's why Prabhupada says that it is the best choice for a wife to follow husband. Because the men thinks logically and rationally, and women thinks always emotionally.
Yeah.
Please.
Thank you, sir.
I'm talking
Hare
about
Krishna Prabhu.
those who follow proper family culture, not people living in what you can say, Western influenced Mumbai city. Ah, yes, Mataji, Preeti Naika Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I just this thing, yeah, agreed that when you are disrespected, you feel hurt and all. But going to a point of giving up your body, isn't that too much?
No, we'll see na. अभी तक चालू हुआ नहीं ना. Why you are asking that question? That question will come at the end of this chapter, in the somewhere in the middle. Why she gave
Yeah.
up the body, we'll understand everything clearly.
Okay, ठीक है sir, Prabhuji, thank you.
See, don't put Mother Sati in our day-to-day thinking pattern. So हमको see for them, what is this? प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. Ramayan, if you have ever seen Ramayan movie or Ramayan drama, this is one of the important phrase comes. प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. They are
Yeah.
okay, they are ready to give up their life, but not the word, but not the dedication to follow dharma. We are opposite. Everything let go. But मैं जीना चाहता हूँ. I mean, in one sense, we are shameless. So that's why these things will not make sense for us. Hey, इतना चाहिए क्या? इतना जरूरत है क्या करके?
True.
1 second. Prabhuji, I'm in class. I'll call you back after 8:30. Is that okay? So I'm taking class. So it is like that. So, but anyway, whenever such kind of statements come in the Bhagavatam purports written by Prabhupada, never take them out of context. Always you need to keep the entire pastime in the mind. Then it makes sense. Otherwise, if you go emotionally, it is simply what you can say. It is simply time waste. So it's like that. Now, what happened? Pitror agat straina vimuda dir grahan accepted the womanly nature. Sati left her husband's home and started walking towards her father's home. Tamanvagachan drutavikramam satim ekam trinetranuchara sahasrasha saparshadaya kshamanimanmadadaya puro vrushendras tarasa gatavyata. Yeah, please someone read.
When they saw Sati leaving alone very rapidly, thousands of Lord Shiva's disciples, headed by Maniman and Mother, quickly followed her with his bull Nandi in front and accompanied by the Lord.
As the Mother Sati left home, Lord Shiva's home, and started walking rapidly. So, looking at Lord Shiva, understanding the desire Lord Shiva, all the followers of Lord Shiva followed after Sati. Though Lord Shiva could not go, but Lord Shiva indicated to his followers, please accompany her, she cannot go alone. As a husband, he did the needful. He gave sufficient instructions to her, but still she is going, and for her protection, he is sending many of the followers. How many? Thousands of followers of Lord Shiva, headed by Manimat and Mada, with with many assistants and yakshas, putting the bull Nandi in front. Puro Vrishendras Nandi, in great alarm, followed Sati, who was moving swiftly all alone. So, understanding Lord Shiva's thought that, okay, if Sati goes there, father might disrespect her, might not receive her. So, Sati might feel bad. So, someone should be there to console her. So, may all of you go. So, if that is the case, Sati was not received properly. The Nandi and Manima and Mada, they could go to Sati and tell that, so we have nothing to do with your father, let us go back. Something like that they might say. So, Lord Shiva kind of indicated to all his followers to go. So they all went. She traveled quickly in fear that Lord Shiva would try to stop her. So leaving the house of Lord Shiva, she did not travel just like that, looking back. She traveled very fast. So thinking that Lord Shiva might come and stop me and take me back forcefully. So she does not want to be in the vicinity of Lord Shiva's catch. So she walked very fast. Okay. Tam anvagachan drutavikramam satim. Drutavikramam means
Very rapid.
very rapidly. Trivikrama. Very within no time Lord Vamana became Trivikrama. So something like that. It is not that for Lord Vamana to become Trivikrama it took 10 years or 100 years. Instantly became something like that. So she was going very fast. The followers were alarmed that their goddess were traveling alone. Since they were Lord Shiva's followers, they could understand Lord Shiva's desire. That was Lord Shiva's desire that please accompany her. If something is not proper, protect her. Something like that and bring her back. Something like that. So understanding the heart of Lord Shiva, because it is called Anuchara. Anuchara means those who understand the heart of their master and do the needful, even without being told. It is like that. So then Tam Sarika Kandukadarpanambuja Shweta Tapatra Vejanasrugadibhi Gitayanairdundubhishankavenu Vrushendra Maropya Vitankitayayo.
The disciples of Lord Shiva arranged for Sati to be seated on the back of a bull and gave her the bird which was her pet. They bore a lotus flower, a mirror, and all such paraphernalia for her enjoyment and covered her with a great canopy. Following by a singing party with drums, conch shells, and bugles, the entire procession was as pompous as a royal parade.
See now, this is one of the interesting verse. So as Sati was running fast, so Nandi, Manimat, Mada and other Yakshas and other followers of Lord Shiva, they kind of ran much faster than Sati and they went in front of Sati and they requested Sati. So, my dear madam, you cannot walk. This is not fair. So they requested her to sit on the Nandi, on the bull, Lord Shiva's vehicle. So she sat on the bull. So then the march went on. How did it go? Placing her on the bull, appearing splendid, with a sarika bird, a ball, a mirror, a lotus, white umbrella, fan and garland, as well as accompaniment of songs with flute, conch and drums. They proceeded. Though at the house the subject matter was entirely different. Wife was saying something, husband was saying something opposite. She left home out of very much anger. But now the followers of Lord Shiva trying to make everything like, okay, Lord Shiva gave permission, now she is going with complete happiness. And they kind of given all her pet animals, all her playing objects, playing things to Sati, and she is playing with them like a small kid. Now kind of, so now they are they're going on. The bird and other items indicate her attraction to playing. So Sati is still attracted to playing. The instrument singing and dancing indicates her attraction to music. She is still attracted to music. So for her happiness, they are all playing instruments and dancing, singing. The white umbrella and other items indicate her royal status. She is not ordinary person. She is the wife of Lord Shiva. And they put a big umbrella and both sides they are fanning. She was garlanded nicely. She cannot go just like that. So it's like that. And they made splendid the entire what you call procession very opulently. So this is the mood of the followers of Lord Shiva. Just to appease Mother Sati, though she was very angry now, so they presented all the playthings and they started singing, dancing, and putting umbrella and fanning, etc., etc., etc. So now, previously Mataji asked one question: how is it that Sati is Maya Devi and why she is behaving like this? A question might come. So one simple connection I put this verse. If you remember in the first chapter, we have seen that Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti, three daughters of Swayambhu Manu married different ages, and they themselves begot many children. They were married to many daughters basically, and they are all married to many other people. They begot children. But only one person who did not beget children, that was Sati. The reason why she did not beget children is two reasons, twofold reason. Because her father was unfavorable to Shiva by showing anger, though Lord Shiva was faultless. Daksha was not at all favorable to Lord Shiva and is simply expressing anger towards Lord Shiva. Shiva was faultless. She gave up her body through mystic trance before reaching maturity. The two reasons for because of which Sati did not beget children is, the one reason is there was constant enmity between, not enmity because in the sense. So Daksha was not at all favorable to Lord Shiva. The second reason is she is apraudaiva. She has not yet reached maturity to beget children. So she is like still like childlike. So in that way, we could see this entire pastime she is acting like a child. She is acting like a childish person. So in that way, we should see this pastime. It's like
Hare Krishna.
yes, ma'am.
Prabhuji, how we should see, like when we see that Shiva's followers, when they saw that Sati is leaving, they left with her and they are trying to, cool down her anger and pleasing her. So in a way, whether they have taken the indirect permission of Lord Shiva, or they are, they are also in Sati's party, that even if she has, uh, means she has surpassed her husband's order, or we can say her spiritual master's order in that way, because husband is a spiritual master for the wife, and she is still doing something which the our master also doesn't agree with. Still they are giving, they are taking her side. So how we should see that?
No, it is they are not taking her side. They are actually taking side of Lord Shiva only. In the first verse only, we already said that now Lord Shiva has nothing to do. The subject matter is out of his control. If Lord Shiva tells Sati that you cannot go, she cannot live anymore. If Lord Shiva allows her, Lord Shiva certainly knew that she will die. She cannot do anything now. Either he keeps her at home, either he allows her to live. So he kind of silent. You do what you want. I have told my whatever I know, whatever my understanding, I told. Now you do whatever you want. And here sees the followers of Lord Shiva, they could understand Lord Shiva's desire. So she has chosen that she has chosen the task of going home. Lord Shiva respected that and indicated to his followers, please escort her in a royal way. As if she is going with the due permission, due invitation of her father and the due permission of her husband. How does she go? Like that, you take her. Anyway, Lord Shiva knows that she will not come back.
Okay, so indirectly it's they are following their master's order.
Yes.
Okay, okay, thank you.
And second thing is that why she is doing all these things? Apraudaiva. She is behaving like a child because she has not yet matured. So in that way.
Prabhuji, in transcendental platform, whether there is any consideration of age of husband and wife?
See, now don't see them as Lord Shiva and Mother Sati like Prakriti and Purusha. Don't see them like that. See them as the Devatas, one among the Devatas. So when pastime is going on, we should not apply Siddhanta.
No,
It
no,
will
that
become
is the, I'm
Asabas.
saying, like she's been called as a Prauda, but Lord Shiva is quite a mature person, we see. So that
He is
from
mature
that.
person. Now you tell me what he can do. He is mature, but what he can do? He told her, don't go. If you go, that's all. Everything is gone. If he keeps her at home also, she is not mature to understand what is right, what is wrong. She will commit suicide the same night. That you have not allowed me to go my home.
Yeah.
That's what you is the simple point. I'm just
No,
trying to.
what I meant, Prabhuji, was that means Lord Shiva is much elder to her in the age. Whether it is that situation, that's what I'm asking.
No, it does not matter because they never grow. For their entire lifespan, they remain Kaishora Avastha only. Teenagers.
So everybody, we have
Brahma,
heard about only
Brahma,
Krishna.
also, Brahma, Shiva, and all this they never grow. They always remain youthful.
Okay. Thank you.
So the entourage reaches sacrificial arena Daksha. A Brahma Goshorjita Yajna Vaishasham Viprarshujustam Vibudaischa Sarvasa Mrudvarayam Kanchana Darbacham Charmabhir Nisrishtabanandamaja Yajanam Samavishat.
She then reached her father's house where the sacrifice was being performed and entered the arena where everyone was chanting the Vedic hymns. The great sages, Brahmanas, and demigods were all assembled there, and there were many sacrificial animals as well as pots made of clay, stone, gold, grass, and skin, which were all requisite for the sacrifice.
Sati entered the sacrificial arena, made completely splendid by the chanting of the Vedas. As soon as Mother Sati and all the entourage reached the sacrificial arena, the first thing they saw and they heard is the Vedic mantras are chanted very vibrantly. Okay, there are so many Brahmanas, all the great sages, all the sons of Brahma are there. They are all chanting mantras with loud Uchchaswara, loud voice. And the sacrificial killing of the animals. And so many animals were kept on the one side, which was attended by Brahmarshis and Devatas. All the Devatas were assembled, all the Brahmarshis were assembled, everyone was there. All who is who in the entire universe are assembled in that particular sacrifice, fair sacrifice. And filled with lot of vessels made of clay, made of wood, made of iron, made of gold, and made of darba grass, baskets, vagera, and made of hide. I don't know what is this hide, karma beer, something like that.
Dharma is that skin.
Okay. This is charma beer. Yeah, skin, made of skin. So in that way. So all these different variety of vessels, containers, vessels, mats, everything that is being used in the performance of sacrifice. So some of them are made up of clay, mud. Some of them are made up of wood. Some of them are made up of iron. Some of them are made up of gold. Some of them are made up of grass, darba grass, and some of them made up of skin, etc., etc. So she's just at one glance, she's looking what is happening there around. Some people are chanting mantras, and some places people are the Brahmarshis are sitting, some places Devarshis are sitting, some places Devatas are sitting, and some places the animals are kept, and all through in between they have seen all sacrificial ingredients kept in so many vessels made up of so many different variety of material, etc., etc. Everything is there. She entered the place of sacrifice. It was made splendid completely by chanting of the Vedas. The sacrifice involved killing of animals. Later on, we see in the next chapter that there is a goat which is meant for offered in the sacrifice, etc. It's like that there are many more animals which are offered in the sacrifice. So Prabhupada actually talks about this particular aspect in the purport. How is it that sacrifice animals can be killed? So Prabhupada writes that it is not that animals are killed so that they can eat meat. Not that. It is just to check the efficacy of the mantras. By offering some animals in the sacrifice, the animals are elevated to higher order, or they will be promoted to heaven, so that they can be freed from the current situation. That was the power of the mantra those days. Prabhupada gives an example that just like the medicines are used on the animals to test the efficacy of the medicine, similarly to test the efficacy of the mantras, the animals are offered in the sacrifice, and eventually they will be rejuvenated, something like that. So it's like that. It was made splendid completely by chanting of the Vedas. The sacrifice involving killing of the animals. Or another meaning is that at that place there was a battle, a competition of rival scriptural opinions, with each camp desiring to win. Since there are so many great sages assembled, and every sages have their own opinion of Siddhanta, and the people are debating with each other. So this is my Siddhanta, this is my Siddhanta, this is my argument, you counter it. Vada, Prativada, such kind of things are happening among all the assembled munis, sages, rishis, etc. etc. So she witnessed all those things. It was attended by the devatas as well as the brahmashis. There were vessels made up of clay and other materials. These are the different things that Mother Sati witnessed as soon as she reached the sacrificial arena. And then what happened afterwards? Tam agatam tatra nakashanadriyat vimanitam yajna kruto bhayajana Priteshvasrurvai jananim cha sadara premarchukantya parisasvajurmuda.
When Sati with her followers reached the arena because all the people assembled were afraid of Daksha. None of them received her well. No one welcomed her but her mother and sisters, who with tears in their eyes and with glad faces welcomed her and talked with her very pleasantly.
So in the previous we talked about what did she observe upon reaching there. What are overall there, what is happening that she observed. Now what is the response from the host that is mentioned in this verse? Out of fear of Daksha, none of the people received her when she arrived except her mother and sisters. There are so many Brahmarshis, Devarshis, Devatas, so many attendants, and everyone is there. But no one dared to receive Sati because they all arrived there by the request of Daksha. Daksha did not invite Lord Shiva and Sati, and Daksha is not doing anything now. So since they are supposed to follow Daksha, even though in the core of their heart they wanted to invite Sati, but none of them dare to do it. They remained silent. But only the mother and the other sisters. Sati had 15 sisters and mother. Those 16 people came forward. They received with love and tears of affection. They embraced her in joy, though she had not been respected by others. So only these 16 people came forward and received Sati. The mother and sisters, I am reading from Purport. The mother and sisters of Sati could not follow the others, who did not receive Sati very well. Due to natural affection, they immediately embraced her with tears in their eyes and with loving feelings. This shows that women as a class are very soft-hearted. Their natural affection and love cannot be checked by artificial means. Although the men present were very learned Brahmanas and demigods, they were afraid of their superior Daksha, and because they knew that their welcoming Sati would displease him. Although in their minds they wanted to receive her, they could not do so. Women are naturally soft-hearted, but men are sometimes very hard-hearted. So, like that, situation is now. No one except her sisters and mother welcomed her, because they others were afraid of Daksha. Though not respected by them, her sisters and mother, not afraid of Daksha, welcomed her. All others are afraid of Daksha, but not the Daksha's other daughters and his wife. So out of their natural affection for Sati, they came forward and they kind of embraced her and welcoming her. Then what did she do? सौदर्य संप्रश्न समर्थ वार्तया मात्रा च मात्रो सशुभेर्च सादराम् दत्तां सपर्यां वरमासनं च सा नादत्त पित्रा प्रतिनन्दिता सती.
Although she was okay, you read Mataji.
Although she was received by her sisters and mother, she did not reply to their words of reception. And although she was offered a seat and presents, she did not accept anything. For her father neither talked with her nor welcomed her by asking about her welfare.
So here one simple point is that though her mother receiving her very nicely, her sisters were receiving her very nicely. How they were receiving? They were receiving her by offering gifts, by performing her worship, and offered with respects by her mother and sisters, along with her sisters' suitable talks and questions. The mother and sister were asking her, "How are you? Is everything fine? How is your husband? What's happening at home? How things are going on, etc." They are asking all these things. They are presenting her gifts. They are worshipping her. They are garlanding her. So many things they are doing. But Sati was not at all interested in any of these things. Sati is simply looking at her father. Why her father is not welcoming her? Why her father is not coming forward to receive her? That is what is going on in her mind. So because that is going on in her mind, because of not being welcomed by her father, Sati did not accept the seat, gifts, and worship offered with great respect by her mother and by her sisters. And she is not even listening what her mother is asking, what her sisters are asking, and not even responding. She is only concerned about why my father is not receiving me. Because previously she told Lord Shiva that no, my father is not like that. He's very learned person, very gentleman. He likes me so much. He will not do like that. Somehow or other, by mistake, that day might have become a little harsh with you, but he will not do like that to me. I am the dearmost daughter of Daksha, my father. So when I go, he will stop whatever he is doing and he will run and receive me very affectionately. That's what she said to her husband, Lord Shiva. But now seeing that there is no response from Daksha, Daksha is not even looking at Sati. Sati is waiting. Just like previously, Daksha was waiting whether Lord Shiva will get up and offer respects to him. And now Sati is waiting. Will Daksha get up and offer welcome to her? So this is what happens. She did not accept the worship along with suitable talk, using skillful questions by her sisters. She did not respond to the questions and did not touch the seat because she was not welcomed by her father. Prabhupada writes one interesting point in the purport. Sati did not accept the greetings offered by her sisters and mother, for she was not at all satisfied by her father's silence. Sati was the youngest child of Daksha, and she knew that she was his pet. But now, because of her association with Lord Shiva, Daksha forgot all his affection for his daughter, and this very much aggrieved her. The material bodily conception is so polluted that even upon slight provocation, all our relationships of love and affection are nullified. Bodily relationships are so transient that even though one is affectionate towards someone in a body relationship, a slight provocation terminates this intimacy.
So, Prabhuji, we are under the illusion that we are women. They are under the illusion that they are devils. Is their bodily conception? I mean, they are supposed to be on a higher status than us.
Prabhuji, don't apply Siddhanta. That is the problem.
Demigods.
Enjoy the pastime.
How are they supposed? These are demigods. These are to be worshipped, and if they act like this, then it's trauma.
They are also living in it, isn't it?
They are your superior position.
They don't have emotions or what?
Should not have this kind of emotions.
Why? What is wrong in it? Huh?
They are supposed to be good people.
What's wrong in this?
Prabhuji, can you please repeat the question asked by
No,
Prabhuji?
Prabhuji asking that how can the devatas have this kind of emotions? So I am saying that they are also living in it in the material world. Why can't they have emotion? What's wrong in Sati having emotion that her father should receive her? What's wrong in that?
Daksha was wrong.
Oh, to hey, forget about Daksha. Talk about Sati. Ah.
She is Daksha, Mother Sati, she is not supposed to be like a child.
No, that Prabhuji said in the last class, now that we're not supposed to see the Maya perspective.
These are all demigods. हम लोग तो भी बीच में मतलब गच्छन्ति सत्वतर ये ना.
Ah,
They
so
are
what?
in the mode of goodness.
So what?
There is some way of doing it. How we behave in the mode of goodness.
I'll tell you one simple example. So just 3 days back, last week only, one gentleman, just a temple visitor who used to visit Juhu temple, he came here in the evening and he went into the kitchen. He took some prasad, he ate. Again he went into the kitchen and started serving himself with the left hand. So one of the what we can say volunteer who volunteers to serve prasad in the evening hours. He works outside throughout the day. He comes here in the evening. I don't know what was the mood of that person. So he said, hey, don't do that. Don't touch. Don't touch. You can't put juta hath in the prasad. He kind of stopped him abruptly because he was at a distance and he came running and stopped him abruptly. Don't use your left hand with juta to serve yourself from the kitchen vessels. So this person came out and he was complaining me. What is this? You people are so rude, so rash. You should tell आराम से धीरे धीरे बताने का इतना फास्ट क्यों बोलने का I did not expect such kind of behavior in a temple like this. People should be very sattvic, very natural, without being agitated, without having any emotions. They should be sober. Anything can happen. They should be sober, calm, quiet. So we have right to do all mistakes, but you people have no right to become agitated.
That is the difference between us. तो फिर हमारे और आप में फर्क क्या है?
Hare Krishna, what are you saying like this? They are human beings, my God.
They are supposed to be above us.
They are definitely above us. But
That
you
that is
cannot
the
expect,
that is the highest expectation of cruelty. Yes,
Why?
yes. I told this person. So my dear sir, kindly understand that he is not a paid employee and he is not a resident devotee. He is a volunteer. Throughout the day he was working hard. In the evening he came here to do some volunteer service. And we don't know what is his mood. How his day went on, we don't know. Since he is not nearby, the problem is that once you touch, you cannot undo it. For him, that is important. For him to stop you is important than how he is doing. How he is doing, that could be his natural behavior throughout the day. Though he might be having a kantimala, he is coming here in the temple, he is serving you, serving all the visitors, but he is not. Then I said, my dear sir, first of all, understand, this prasadam is not meant for outsiders. This is only meant for the resident devotees. Somehow or other you went, so just be respectful. They are giving you means, because outside people, they expect that temple means they should serve. It is meant to serve only. हम कुछ नहीं सर्व करेंगे जो टेंपल में आते वो कुछ नहीं सर्व करेगा टेंपल शुड सर्व एवरीवन so it is like that so
Prabhuji, I have one small doubt. Like any pastime, how we decide that whether we should look at it from the tattva point of view or we should relish the pastime? Like, because this problem comes at many points.
No
So
problem. You don't analyze so much. The speaker will tell, all the acharyas will comment in the purports. We don't
okay,
have to analyze so much. It will be there in the past times. I mean, the commentaries or tikas, the speaker will tell. So how should we see this entire event? That's why
okay,
I'm stressing again and again that those points. From the very beginning, we are discussing this conversation. We can apply to the normal discussion that is happening between wife and husband in our vicinity, in our neighborhood, even in our home only. You can see like that. Don't see here Lord Shiva and Sati as the supreme-most devatas. If you see them, there is no fun in this pastime. See them as the living entities who are in the position and high place. Now you tell me, are the divorce are not happening in the billionaires families, multi-millionaires and billionaires families?
yeah, it's happening.
Why it is happening there? What's the problem? Maybe we can think of the small families because they don't have a lot of they don't have enough money. So husband is torturing wife to go out for work. That's why the wife is not able to tolerate and she is taking divorce. These wealthy people have everything with them. Whatever they want, it's on disposal they have, but still they are taking divorce. Why?
Divorce doesn't happen only on the point of wealth, no provision. If the persons are not able to get along with each other, they can be rich or poor, they can be educated, uneducated, anyways.
That's what my point. There are multiple reasons, not one reason. You cannot put one reason in the forefront and say that, okay, because of this reason they should stay together. Not like that. Just because they have wealth, that doesn't mean that they can go long together. There could be some other reason which might be tormenting them, etc. So here, Lord Shiva and Sati, don't see them as the devata, main devatas. See them as normal living entity in the material world. Then we learn some lesson.
Okay, thank
For
you.
them anyway, they are not separated. Whether Shiva gives up her body, Shiva nahi, Sati gives up her body, again she will take birth as Parvati and she will get married again soon to Lord Shiva. For them it is Leela, but for us it is what we can say. We have to see that it is happening in our home only, in our neighborhood. We should see, a Mataji should see herself in the role of Sati, and a Prabhuji should see himself in the role of Daksha. Then only we learn the lesson. We might be doing the same mistake as Daksha doing. A Prabhuji might be doing the same mistake as Daksha doing. A Mataji might be doing the same mistake as Sati doing. Then only we learn the lesson. Otherwise, we will not learn. If you put Siddhanta in the front, it remains as a Leela only. और उनके लिए
Okay.
ड्रामा है, कुछ नहीं। अरे ड्रामा में क्या है, जब तक 1 घंटा ड्रामा चलते समय उस समय वो रोएंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे। एक बार ड्रामा से बाहर आने के बाद सब कुछ है, हंसते हंसेंगे बाद में। दैट इज सिद्धांत। But when drama is going on, we should see that okay, we are in that place. So it is that's how we learn lesson. Otherwise, no point uh, uh, in reading through these past tense.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu.
It's like that. So when we are reading the past time, we should not apply Siddhanta. If we apply Siddhanta, why did Krishna become fearful? When Mother Yashoda caught Krishna and one hand she held the hand of Krishna. In one hand she had a stick. Krishna started crying. What is that? Supreme personality of Godhead. That's what you are applying Siddhanta. Siddhanta applies Siddhanta will not work at that time.
That's what Mataji asked me.
हमको कभी पकड़ने का कभी
बताएगा ना, स्पीकर बताएगा, स्पीकर को सुनते रहो बस।
स्पीकर
आई एम सेइंग ना, डोंट सी सिद्धांता। अभी तो सुबह आधा घंटे में 10 बार बोला था। आधा घंटा नहीं, 1 घंटा हो गया ऑलमोस्ट। 1 घंटा में 10 बार बोला था। So it's like that. So we'll continue further. So what's happening? Though she was received by her mother, her sisters with a lot of gifts and reception, they're offering her seat, but she's still looking at father. She was waiting that father should run and receive her. But Daksha is not at all responding. Arudrabhagam tamavekshya chadvaram पित्रा च देवे कृतहेलनं विभो अनादृता यज्ञसदसि यदीश्वरी चुकोपलोकान् इव दक्ष्यतीरुषा.
Present in the arena of sacrifice, Sati saw that there were no oblations for her husband, Lord Shiva. Next, she realized that not only had her father failed to invite Lord Shiva, but when he saw Lord Shiva's exalted wife, Daksha did not receive her either. Thus, she became greatly angry, so much so that she looked at her father as if she were going to burn him with her eyes.
So now Sati is analyzing what's happening around. Seeing the sacrifice divide of any offering to Lord Shiva. We said that at the beginning, as soon as she came there, she heard the mantras being chanted by all the Brahmanas, all the great sages, and she was carefully listening to all the mantras. None of their mantras are saying that idam what did you say? Idam Shivaya Swaha, Idam Namah. Such kind of mantra is not even chanted even once. So she heard very carefully that there are no oblations offered to Lord Shiva. They are not even calling Lord Shiva in the sacrifice either in a subtle way and not even offering any oblations to Lord Shiva. And understanding that the disrespect for her by her father in the assembly was disrespect to her Lord Shiva. She became angry as if she would burn all the worlds. So till now, she was anticipating that the father will come and receive her. So she waited. Father did not come forward. Okay, she let it go. Okay, no problem. My father only. It's okay. Receives, not receives. I am his own daughter. It's okay, chalega. But she is very keen that her husband, being the head of all devatas, should be honored properly. She was listening to mantras, trying to understand whether they are offering mantras to Lord Shiva or not, whether they are offering obeisances to Lord Shiva or not. When she realized that they are not offering any oblations to Lord Shiva, that clearly indicated that Daksha is adamant on his uh, negligence towards Lord Shiva. And Sati, as a bona fide wife of Lord Shiva, could not tolerate it. As a daughter, she tolerated father's negligence towards her. But as a wife, she could not tolerate the negligence of giving respects to her husband at the head of the Devatas. So now she becomes very angry. As if she is going to burn the three planetary systems, the entire universe. So now let's see. Hearing the oblation mantras and seeing a sacrifice divide of offering to Lord Shiva and understanding that ignoring her was a slight or lie to Lord Shiva or ignoring Lord Shiva, she became angry. Previously, she was very much angry with Lord Shiva, thinking that actually my father is so affectionate, why are you not allowing me to go? She became angry with Lord Shiva. Now she realized why Lord Shiva was not happy me going to my father's home. So then she turned that entire anger towards Daksha now. Then what she to do? Jagarha samasra vipannaya gira Shivadvisham dhumapatashramasmayam Swatejasa bhutaganan samuttitan Nigrihya Devi jagato bishrinvata.
The followers of Lord Shiva, the ghosts, were ready to injure or kill Daksha, but Sati stopped them by her order.
Action.
She was very angry and sorrowful, and in that mood, she began to condemn the process of sacrificial fruitive activities and persons who are very proud to such unnecessary and troublesome sacrifices. She especially condemned her father, speaking against him in the presence of all.
एक लाइट है या सब लाइट्स? प्रभु can you sorry प्रभु सुनिए. Hare Krishna, सुनिए. I am in a class can you send some security to plate washing area? There nursing is there. Nursing will come and help. Hare Krishna. Maintenance. So, by her command, she stopped the ghosts who were ready to kill Daksha. When the followers of Lord Shiva who accompanied her all the way to sacrificial arena, when they also realized that now Mother Sati is angry at Daksha, they understood what is there in the mind of Sati. Then they took that opportunity, they raised their weapons to go forward and kill Daksha. But Sati stopped them. Please, please don't do that. Wait, there is some time for that. Not now. Something like that. She stopped them and, heard by the whole universe with words choked by anger, she condemned Daksha, who is the enemy of Lord Shiva, who was proud of his efforts at sacrifice. Daksha was so proud of his position that he is the head of all the Prajapati, so proud. He is also proud now because he is performing great sacrifice, thinking like that. So, when the followers of Lord Shiva were moving forward to kill Daksha, she stopped. Why? She wanted to speak out her heart before they could go forward. And how did she speak? She spoke very strongly so that the entire universe can hear her words. Actually, it's simple, not the entire universe, because the people of the entire universe are assembled in that same sacrifice only. Everyone is there. So she wanted her words to be heard by everyone. So she spoke very loudly. That was the understanding. Her words became choked up with anger. Daksha was proud of his practice of karmas. By her command, she prevented the ghosts who rose up from killing Daksha. So now starting from verse number 11 till 23rd, Sati actually condemns Daksha, Daksha's mean mentality, and establishes Lord Shiva's supremost position. So that can be seen in these verses. Nayaste lokosti atishaya na priyas tata priyo deha vrutam priyatmana tasmin samastatmani mukta svairake rite bhavantam katama pratipayet.
The blessed goddess said, Lord Shiva is most beloved of all living entities. He has no rival. No one is very dear to him, and no one is his enemy. No one but you could be envious of such universal being who is free from all enmity.
The first words of Mother Sati, who except Daksha would hate Lord Shiva. In this universe, I don't see anyone who can hate Lord Shiva. You are the only one person. Because Lord Shiva is without an enemy. Mukta Vairake. Lord Shiva has no enemy in the entire universe. He is Ajata Shatru. And he is the cause of the universe. Lord Shiva is the creator of the entire universe. Unto whom the soul of all beings, there is no one superior in this world. Yasya loko asti atishayanana. Since Lord Shiva is the source of the entire universe and he is the soul of all the living entities in the entire universe, there is no one superior to him in this universe. Only a superior person can have envy towards the inferior person. So he is our source, he is our soul. How can we envy him? That is the position of Lord Shiva. And who neither hates nor favors anyone. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priha. That is the position of Lord Shiva. For him, everyone is equal. How can someone hate him? Sati criticizes Daksha in 13 verses 11 to 23. There is no one greater than Lord Shiva, since he is the Lord. There is no one dear or not dear to him, since he is self-satisfied. Atmaram. Atishayanana Priya. No one is greater than him, and no one is more affectionate than him. For Lord Shiva, every living entity is a dear living entity. He loves everyone. He is dear Atma of all living entities, and everyone loves Lord Shiva also. Because he is the cause of the whole universe. Except for you, who acts against him. Except for you, who can act against Lord Shiva. Only you would hate him, or only you would act against Lord Shiva. No one in this universe will have such kind of mentality that you have. So like that. So Sati starts establishing the position of Lord Shiva, starts criticizing the mentality of Daksha.
You mentioned that Brahmana Shiva is the soul of
He is the soul of the universe, he is the source of the whole universe. Forgot third canto? We discussed about it in third canto. So we discussed that at the time of creation, from the skin pores of Mahavishnu, there comes Prakriti. Mahavishnu glances on Prakriti. So that glance carries Kala Karma Sabhava. Kala is Lord Shiva, Prakriti is Sati or Durga or Parvati. So their union produces all the creation. The interaction between Kala and Prakriti is the cause of the entire creation. So Kala is Purusha and Pradhana is Prakriti. Prakriti Purusha. So they only cause of the entire universe, mother and father. So in that way is the source of everything.
source and being the soul of everything.
Is the source of everything and hence the soul of everyone.
And when we say the soul, supreme soul present within us is Vishnu. In one sense.
And no. Shirodaksha. See now you see within the universe. Don't see outside the universe. Lord Vishnu is a person outside the universe. Lord Shiva is a person directly connected with the universe. So it is a hierarchy. There is Mahavishnu, then there is Sadashiva. Sadashiva interacts with Prakriti, because of which the entire universe is created. So immediate authority is Lord Shiva and Purusha and Prakriti, Lord Shiva and Parvati. The one step ahead is Mahavishnu.
Mahavishnu and understood Shiva. बीच वाले दोनों विष्णु का क्या? Daksha Shirodaksha का क्या?
So they are same as Mahavishnu only. Don't see them different from Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu only as Garbhodakasha Vishnu, he only as Kyodakasha Vishnu. Go same. So here these statements, you should see Lord Shiva is an expansion of Mahavishnu, who is non-different from Mahavishnu in that sense. Mahakala Purusha is one sense, not different. So it's like that. We call Lord Shiva as Vishwanath. Varanasi Shiva called as Vishwanath. He is the Lord of the entire universe.
That concept is in the part of creation, not, So when the jivas are brought here and all that. When we say, like suppose if somebody is meditating on the Lord's form, that person is not meditating on Shiva.
No, that is Vishnu only.
Right? That is because that is the soul, supreme soul residing with us. That's what I was just thinking. When you're saying the soul within us, everything.
No, not soul within us. Just like soul is very important for a person. Yes, no? Without soul, there is no existence of person. So, according to Sati, without Lord Shiva, there is no life to the entire universe.
So, from Sati's perspective, you're saying that he is the soul of him.
He is the source. Since he is the source of everything, he is the soul of everything. It is from him the creation manifested, no? He himself is the expression of Mahavishnu, and he has a remote cause. But when it comes to the local management, he is the main person.
For creation.
Yes. So in that way.
Right? Because there's another sect, I will not name it. They believe that since Vishnus are expansions of Balramji is Nityanand, so they are worshipping with them to the greatest extent. So therefore, I'm like,
No. See here we are not talking about any spiritual subject matters. Here everything is within the purview of the universe. From there, that point of view.
When we say that the soul of our life also is Vishnu.
Of course, Paramatma is Vishnu. Here, soul means the important, the role. See the role, the importance of that person's role.
So here, the term soul is only, you are using it for a different this thing. The soul means the main object or main.
Yeah, main. Yeah. Who puts everything into action? He is dear Atma of all living beings. So, in that way, Lord Shiva is always favorably inclined to fulfill everyone's desire. Who will hate him? Who will hate Lord Shiva?
There's no question.
So from that way, is dear Atma means dearmost person. So in that way, dearmost person of everyone.
Prabhuji, can we see, means this is just the addition to what we are discussing, that as the soul moves the entire body, and because of the soul, the entire body has meaning. Similarly, Lord Shiva is the soul of entire universe. Like, because of him, the whole universe is,
Because of him, the whole universe is
in action.
See, we are going too much. It is not, I mean, of course, he is there, but everything is in action. The maintenance in charge is Vishnu, na? Daksha Vishnu.
Okay.
See, he is like, how we can say, he is like mother. Lord Shiva is like mother. Whatever is the desire of children, the mother is always there to fulfill, whether it is good or bad. Father is there to discipline.
Yeah.
Are you getting?
Yeah.
So, if Lord Vishnu is like father, Lord Shiva is like the mother.
Okay.
Lord Vishnu always want to discipline the naughty children. If some child are naughty, he will put restrictions. But mother will not put any restrictions. When father is not seeing, the mother will give whatever the child wants. So like that.
Yeah, understood, Prabhu.
If the Lord Vishnu is is like father, Lord Shiva is like mother. He is very much affectionate to all the living entities, and everyone likes him, and he likes everyone. So from that point of view, he is liked by everyone. No one envies him. Who will envy mother? Especially when children are very young. Who would hate Lord Shiva, since he is the form of truth and has no enemy? Who would act against him by avoiding proper conduct? Those assembled here are filling their bellies with the food offered by you. So Lord Shiva or his followers should act against them. So she's going to the point that since you are hating Lord Shiva and all the assembled people in this assembly of sacrifice, everyone is fed by you, and they are also contaminated by your consciousness. They are also not respecting Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva followers can do anything to them. Even though Lord Shiva does not hate anybody, but they cannot tolerate if somebody disrespect Lord Shiva. So that's why they are getting ready to kill you and your followers or your supporters. But I stopped them. Understand? Something like that. So then she continues. Doshan paresham hi guneshu sadavo गृह्णन्ति केचिन्न भवादृशो द्विजा गृणां च पल्गून् बहुलीकरिष्वनो महत्तमास्तेषु अविदद्भवानगम्.
That's why God and like you can simply find fault in the qualities of others. Lord Shiva, however, not only finds no faults with others' qualities, but if someone has a little good quality, he magnifies it great. Unfortunately, you have found fault with such a great.
Yeah. Here Mother Sati is saying that, oh Brahmana, she is not calling him as father. She is saying, oh Brahmana, oh Dvija, oh twice born. because he is proud of his Brahmanatva, Lord Shiva addressing him with that. Oh Brahmana, saintly persons see faults which are capable of being transformed into good qualities, and thus they see only good qualities, not the faults. The real sadhus, when they see faults in other people, they don't see them as faults. They actually see them that these faults, apparently they may seem to be faults, but they have great potential that they can become good qualities in the future. So what is the point in me seeing the faults today? Today it may be a fault, but tomorrow it become good potential, good quality. So why should I see it as a fault? The saintly people always oversee the faults and they only see the good qualities. In fact, they see today's faults as tomorrow's good qualities in people in general. That is the nature of saintly people. And she says that, my dear Dvija, my dear Brahmana, you are exactly the opposite. You only see faults. If at all there are some good qualities, you will think that today's good qualities anyway will become tomorrow faulty, bad qualities. So what is the point in me seeing good qualities today? Let me see only faults. That is the nature of persons like you. That is your nature. The best persons magnify even meager good qualities in another person. The best people, even though if they see a slight good, they magnify it and glorify it highly. But people like you, even there is a small, slight fault, but you magnify it and talk about it a lot. That is your nature. Therefore, you see only faults in others. Lord Shiva does not see fault in anybody. That's why he loves everyone. He is eager to bless anyone. But you only see faults in others. So in the purport, Prabhupada writes a very nice example. Lord Shiva is eager to award blessings to anyone and everyone. At one point of time, when Vrukasura was performing Siva Tapasya, Lord Shiva became so pleased with his Tapasya that he said, okay, whatever you want, I'll give you. He said, on whomsoever head I put my hand, they should be burnt. So Lord Shiva thought that, okay, seems that he has a great enemy. He wanted to kill that enemy. So that's why he is asking that benediction. So Lord Shiva said, okay, Tadasu, I'll give you that benediction. And Vrukasura first of all want to put his hand on Lord Shiva only. So that is the nature of Lord Shiva. He does not analyze pros and cons. He is eager to bless anyone and everyone. That is even though he is very bad person, is going to kill him. That Vrukasura is going to kill himself, but Lord Shiva offered him benedictions. So like that, Prabhupada gives an example. So this is a nice understanding. So there are 3-4 slides for this understanding. Kindly follow me, and this will really help us. I'm speaking that not that I'm cultivating all these things, but it is better to cultivate this kind of qualities. This is a really a helping tool for all of us to protect our relationship with others. A very interesting purport.
There are slides here showing it on.
Pass. You just listen, no problem. In order to say that in that improper assembly of all are improper. So now not only Daksha, but Daksha's followers are also like behaving like Daksha only. In order to show that everyone in this assembly is improper, Mother Sati is analyzing what is the proper behavior, what is improper behavior. In order to say that in that improper Daksha's assembly all are improper, she describes who is proper and who is improper.
Bolu? Did I?
Anyone? Those of good conduct accept even faults in others, since the faults can be eventually transformed by certain method into good qualities. No, don't try it. You'll get the slides. You just pay attention. This is the interesting understanding. Those of good conduct, the observer with good conduct accept even faults in others, since the faults can be eventually transformed by certain methods into good qualities. How? Some example is given here. speaking harshly is a bad quality in general, but because it can be for someone's benefit, it becomes a good quality. Normally, speaking harsh towards someone is bad, but when a manager is speaking harsh to servant, it is to correct the servant. Or when the father or mother speaking harshly to the children, it is to correct them. That is a good quality. Parents cannot be pampering children when it is the time to correct. It is actually a good quality. Apparently, from the ideal point of view, speaking harshly is bad, but sometimes it is actually for the good of other person. So in that way, but because it can be for someone's benefit, it becomes a good quality, like the Nima juice. Generally, juice means we expect sweet, but Nima juice or Kerala juice is not sweet. Nima juice is bitter. Kerala juice is bitter, but they are good for health, which cures sickness, though it is bitter. So it is like that. Sometimes the harsh speech apparently seems to be very wrong, but it is good for the receiver. Persons who see in this way are to be considered good. Those people, even though they apparently see the faults of others, speaking harshly, such kind of things, but they analyze, okay, I may not know why he is speaking harshly. This may be good for that person. So this is a good quality. Such kind of people are called as good. They are called Mahat or Sadhu. Who are the opposite? Sati sarcastically addresses Daksha as a Brahmana. You are not like that. She is not calling him as father. She is calling him as Dvija. You are not like that. Persons like you think that good qualities will turn into false. You will think that someone who wants to help others will become greedy for their assets. So people like you will see that if somebody comes to offer you some help, even though unasked, so you think that why this person is coming to help me? Is he having some ulterior motives? Is going to steal away my property after making friendship with me? Even though that is a good quality, that person understands that you need some help, he comes to offer some help, and you analyze and think that okay, this person is coming to offer me help because you want to steal me, you want to rob me, everything. Such persons are not gentlemen. They are called asadu. So it is like that. And now next category of people. Some others, overlooking the faults, see good qualities. People might have both good qualities and bad qualities. They overlook the bad quality, they only see the good qualities. Example, seeing a merchant, though a materialist. When a sadhu sees a merchant who is very materialist, who is only interested in earning money, earning profit, but they conclude that he takes care of guests very nicely and it is worthy of deliverance. At business, this person may be so materialistic, so profit oriented, but at home, he receives guests very nicely. So he is worthy of receiving sadhu's mercy. He has both the qualities, good quality at home, bad quality at business. But they only see the good quality, they overlook the bad quality. Since he has this good quality, it is conducive for him to receive spiritual instructions. So he can be delivered. These are some kind of sadhus. They praise the good qualities and not the bad qualities, seeing conditions as they are. This person, there is another example. This person has renounced, but he also eats a lot. No, it's not bad qualities. It is only observation. You see, he is not criticizing. This person has renounced. He is a great renounced person. But he has a limitation that he also eats a lot. It's okay. It's his limitation. Chillaga. They are not criticizing. They are just stating that he is actually a great renounced person. He is not attached to it. But he eats a lot. It's okay. क्या problem? थोड़ा ज्यादा खाएंगे उसमें क्या क्या जाता है भगवान देने वाला भगवान है तो आपका क्या so something like that. Not like this. Apparently others may think person mentally is renounced, but physically his body may need more food. It's good, na? If his belly is full, he can live peacefully. If belly is half empty, he'll be in trouble. The mind will not work.
That's why I'm asking, is it necessary that somebody who is renounced cannot have a big appetite?
He can have. Appetite is connected to the body.
Exactly.
Renunciation is connected to the mind.
There's a question of this.
That's what I'm saying. So it is not criticism, it's just observation. He does not simply think of him as a gluttonous beggar, rather than they glorify his renunciation. Such kind of a person are superior to the previous good person. The previous person is good. This person is better. He is called, previous person is called Mahat. This person is called as Mahatara. Mahatara. Good, better. And then, and the counterpart, others see faults only, overlooking the good qualities. Example is, this sannyasi eats ghee rice to fill his stomach. He is lusty and should be considered fallen. अभी क्या करे, उनका physical need like that. He wants to eat little food with ghee. And it goes to the extent that this sannyasi eats rice to fill his stomach. He is lusty and he should be considered fallen. And such kind of analytical person is more improper. Previous person is improper, asadu. This person is more improper, asadu tara. Though he is a sannyasi, if they renounced, he is not looking at that. Sannyasi is only looking at eating food only. So, though there are so many good qualities, many good qualities, but there is only one bad quality, seeing that one bad quality. So it is like that. क्या प्रॉब्लम, थोड़ा सा घी डाल के खा रहे हैं गुड डाइजेशन के लिए. So it's like that. Like Ramchandra Khan in Jagannath Puri, not Ramchandra Khan, Ramchandra Puri. Ramchandra Khan is another person. Ramchandra Puri, who is the god brother of Ishwara Puri. When he comes to Jagannath Puri, seeing Mahaprabhu eating Khan to Jamindar tha. Ramchandra Khan against Haridas Thakur, who sends prostitute. He is a different person. Ramchandra Puri is the one who invites the associate Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, feeds them. After feeding them lot, then he criticizes them. You people, what kind of sannyasi are you? You people eat a lot, like that. Even he criticizes, it goes all the way up to criticizing Mahaprabhu. So,
seeing the ants, he says, na,
seeing the ants is that he must be eating sweets. What kind of this? Something like that. So it goes to that extent. Ramchandra Puri.
Even Amogna, that Sarvam Bhattacharya's
Amoga also criticizes Mahaprabhu that what kind of sannyasi are you? Eats a lot, like that. So it's like that. They only one small apparent fault and magnify it. It's like that. There can be hundreds of thousands of good qualities, but they are not worried about them. So in that way. The word sannyasi itself indicates so many good qualities, but they are ignoring that, and they is only focusing on eating with ghee. Full stomach ho to need of the body, chalega na, what problem? So it's like that. So these are the second category of people. First category is Mahat, Asadu, Sadhu, Asadu. The second category are Mahatara, Asadutara. Now third category of people. Others take small good qualities and magnify them and do not even see small faults. A person might be having hundreds of bad qualities, but they only see small good quality and magnify it. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Nityananda Prabhu toward Jagaya and Madai. This person has stolen my cloth. Example. This person has stolen my cloth because he is feeling extreme cold. And though he has a weapon, he does not attack me because he is merciful. Thus he is virtuous. See, one sadhu and one beggar, both of them are sleeping underneath a tree. After some time, the beggar has taken the upper cloth of the sadhu. Then sadhu, when he gets up, feeling cold, when he looks at that nearby person, he sees that, okay, he has taken my cloth, seems that he is feeling cold.
Best quality. क्या आपकी बात नहीं?
And second thing, this person has a strong weapon. He could have killed me and took away my cloth.
So nice, you didn't do so.
He is merciful and is virtuous. He said that is, yeah, you see the saintly behavior. Since just because he needed a cloth, he just took the cloth. He did not disturb me also. He does not even want to disturb me.
किस जमाने की बात है?
Yeah. Such a person is the greatest. He is Mahatama. He is the greatest. Mahatama. And the counterpart. Others take small faults and magnify them and see no good qualities at all. Example is, this renunciate has given up the forest and lives in the house of a married man. He only wants to steal their money. This is the worst person. A sannyasi who is supposed to live in the forest, but somehow or other he fell sick. He cannot take care of himself. One honorable householder invited him, offered some shelter, and taking care of him. And a passerby, seeing that sannyasi, making this comment. See, the sannyasi is supposed to stay in the forest, not supposed to stay in the home. How can he stay in the home of some householder? I think that he has come to this place just to steal the property of this householder. Gone case. So this is how people think. And that kind of person is the worst person. Asaduttama. Without trying to understand why the sadhu has come all the way here, what is his problem, without understanding all these things, just by seeing the sadhu in the house of a householder, they make all the judgments. Such kind of people are asaduttama. So now the fourth category of people, which are much superior. Others see good qualities. So other people, other sadhus, see good qualities in others where there are none. Even though there is no iota of good quality in a person, still they see good qualities. So now the example is, what they say, in this world there are no bad people. Everyone is good. Something like that. They are the very greatest. These people are called Ati Mahatma. They don't see any fault in anybody. They see everywhere good only. And the counterpart, others see only faults in others. Even where there are no faults. They say that in this world there is no one good. Everyone is evil. They are very worst. Ati Asaduttama. The perfect example is, as Mata said, Yudhisthira versus Duryodhana. So it is not related in the Mahabharata, but somewhere the folk story says that. So before selecting who will be suitable candidate for the prince, for the next generation king, they have conducted a test between Yudhisthira and Duryodhana. They said that, my dear Duryodhana, please go and find out someone who is superior to you. Travel all over the kingdom and come back by evening and find out someone who is superior to you. And for Yudhisthira, they said that, my dear Yudhisthira, go and find out someone who is inferior to you. In the evening, Duryodhana came back early and he said that, he said that, I can't find anyone who is superior to me. I see everywhere faults only. This person, this fault, this person, this fault, this person, this fault. I see everywhere faults only. No one is qualified to be superior to me. That was the statement of Duryodhana. When Yudhishthira comes, he says that, I can't see anyone inferior to me. I see everywhere wherever I go, lot of good qualities which I don't possess. This person is so kind, this person is so gentle, this person is so loving, this person is so caring. So I see everywhere good qualities only. So this is the nature of the different people. So it's like that. So now at the end, Sati is concluding that according to the amount of sattva, one is considered good. Thus, though there are many types of good persons, they are divided into 4 types: Mahat, Mahattara, Mahattama, and Ati Mahattama. Among good people, we can put 4 good categories. And similarly, among bad people, we can put 4 bad categories. They are Asadu, Asadutara, Asadutama, and Ati Asadutama, indicated by the words Na Bhava Drusha and Avidat Bhava Magam. So now, one can also divide the devotees into 4 types of degrees of Bhakti Yoga. Just like here, sadhus, the gentlemen, there are 4 categories. Non-gentlemen, there are 4 categories. Similarly, for devotees also, we can see 4 categories of devotees. Generally, we say that Madhyamadhikari, Kanishtadhikari, Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari, something like that. Filled with spiritual qualities, and one can divide the non-devotees also into 4 types by the amount of offenses they exhibit. Based on the offensive mentality, one can categorize the non-devotees. Lord Shiva has been described as the dear soul of all beings, the cause of the universe, and divider of enemies. Lord Shiva does not see any bad quality anywhere. He loves everyone. That means he does not see any bad quality. Because he is affectionate to all beings, seeing no faults anywhere, he is the most exalted. Lord Shiva is Ati Mahatma. He is the source of everyone. He is loved by everyone. He loves everyone. He does not see faults in anyone. These are the qualities of Lord Shiva. But on the other hand, you find faults in Lord Shiva, who is the source of every entire universe. You finding faults in Lord Shiva means you are finding fault in every living entity in the universe, because the source of the universe. Because of seeing only fault in Lord Shiva, the soul of all beings, you see faults in the entire world. Therefore, you are Ati Asaduttama. You don't see any good anywhere. And you have also committed offense against the great devotee, Lord Shiva. You not only see faults in him, you actually criticize Lord Shiva. You did not stop there. You even blame Lord Brahma also. How? Requested by Brahma, I gave Sati to this unclean lord of the insane with impure heart. Thus you have offended Lord Brahma. And you not only stopped there, you went ahead. You offended the devotees of Lord Shiva also. How? Daksha, performing a sacrifice named Vajapaya, then began the best of sacrifices called Brahaspati Sava, surpassing the followers of Lord Shiva. He ignored Lord Shiva, ignored Lord Shiva's followers, and simply started another sacrifice after sacrifice. So you not only offended Lord Shiva, not only offended Lord Brahma, you offended the followers of Lord Shiva, and you offended everyone in the entire universe. Therefore, you are the very worst person. Ati Asaduttama. There was no one as worst as you. So this is how Sati is analyzing who is Lord, where Lord Shiva is placed, where Daksha is placed. Lord Shiva is on the topmost rung of the ladder. Daksha is in the bottommost rung of the ladder. So, thus, there are 4 categories of people as we see here. Some people see only bad. These are called Asadu. Like Duryodhana unto Pandavas. He only sees bad in the Pandavas. And people unto ISKCON, in the initial days of ISKCON, they always criticized ISKCON devotees. In the initial days in India, people used to criticize. They would say that ISKCON means hippies.
Others who
The movie also made. The movie also made on that. And then seeing good and seeing bad, but selecting bad. Some people see good and bad. One category of people see only bad. Second category of people see good and bad, but they select only bad. Like Daksha unto Narada Muni, Prataparudra Maharaj unto the devotees who arrived in Puri. At the very beginning, when devotees came from Navadip to Mayapur, Prataparudra Maharaj also expressed a concern. Hey, what is these people? When someone comes to holy pilgrimage, they could go to river, they take bath, they shave, then they go to darshan, then they come and eat. But these people, they are directly going for food. Because Mahaprabhu invited for prasad. They are going for prasad. Later on he corrected his mentality, but for the first sight, he felt like that. To see little bad, but magnify it. Daksha unto Lord Shiva. Durvasa unto Maharaj, Amarish. Little bad, but magnifying it. So there are the three categories in the bad side. And the good side, to see good and bad, but selecting good. Vishnuduta selected chanting Narayana in the case of Ajamila. Ajamila had hundreds of falls, but Vishnuduta saw only he chanted Narayana. That's enough. To see only good. Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Jagai and Madai are better than us. Huh? Yudhisthira Maharaj and Vidura saw only good and delivered Dhritarashtra. Though Dhritarashtra did so many evil schemes, but Yudhisthira never disrespected him. He only saw that when we came fatherless, you took care of us. To see little good and magnify it. Lord Krishna and to Putana. Though she came to kill me, but she came like a mother. Nardamuni to Nalakuvar and Manigriva. Though they are immersed in sanctification, but they are doing it in Ganga. They are taking bath in Ganga. So Lord Nardamuni bless them. That though they become trees, but they will take birth in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj.
Yes, because they were bathing in Ganga.
Ganga. That is Mandakini Ganga. They are bathing in it. So like that, Mother Parvati establishes the supremost position of Lord Shiva and indicates the worst position of Daksha. So don't see these things are only in Lord Shiva and Daksha. Actually, we should see these things within ourselves. So we should analyze. We should try to overcome the mentalities that are there in Daksha and try to cultivate the mentality of Lord Shiva. That is Hati Asaduttama to Ati Mahatma. We need to progress. 8 stage.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, but how we should apply this understanding? Because if that way we see, kabhi there will be no wars or there will be no problems. But we see even the persons who are giving this understanding, we see that they like Mahabharat Yuddha, there was means Krishna is there, who is also, we see that he sees the little good in somebody and he magnifies it, but still the wars takes place, or still means this was a big war, but otherwise in person also the wars takes place. So means how we should understand that everywhere this understanding is not to be applied, or how?
No, try to be clear myself. We should not analyze in seeing others. When we see others, we should behave in the good side. See good and bad, but select only good in others. When we analyze ourselves, see good and bad, but select only bad. So when we evaluate ourselves, so we should see ourselves as Daksha and correct ourselves. When we see others, we should behave like Lord Shiva. So that is what is expected. It may not be practical always, it may not be possible always, but gradually we should go forward in the direction.
No, Prabhuji, that I understood, but what I meant was like, see, Yudhishthira Maharaj is so pure that he's just called as Ajata Shatru because he doesn't see anybody as enemy. But still, he has taken part in the Great War.
No, he has not fought for himself. All the 5 Pandavas would never went ahead for fighting. The 5 Pandavas only fought in the battlefield just for the sake of honor of Draupadi. Because Lord Krishna made a vow to Draupadi that I will make sure that they will pay back to their offense. And the 5 Pandavas are the bona fide followers of Lord Krishna. They just follow Lord Krishna. They themselves never wanted war. Only for 2 reasons. Just to protect the honor of Draupadi and follow the instruction of Lord Krishna.
Difficult to understand, Prabhuji. Like to protect the honor.
Read Bhagavad Gita last chapter.
Prabhuji, to protect the honor of Draupadi, that means you are seeing the fault that they are faulty of doing this thing, and that is why we should protect the honor. So
see, that's what. See, wait. This chapter is not completed. Later on, one of the important verse comes. See, when some humiliation is happening to me, when some loss is happening to me, what some exploitation is happening to me, I will tolerate. If something is happening to someone in front of me, I cannot tolerate. It's like that. They have tolerated to some extent in that gambling match, because there are elders in front of them. They submitted to elders because elders did not say anything. They did not do anything. If the elders were not there in that assembly, Pandavas would not have tolerated to that extent.
Yeah, maybe.
So it's like that.
And another thing is, Prabhuji, just a few verses back, we were seeing that Sati was talking totally on the emotional platform, and she was telling that I'm a woman and I have this attraction, that attraction. But here we see that she's talking totally at the intellectual platform.
Because now her emotional understanding spoiled, na? She thought that her father will never behave like that. But when she came here, she realized her father is exactly fitting the description of Lord Shiva. Abhi, what emotions she will have? Previously, she thought that her father is most affectionate father ever in this entire universe. But now the case is not like that. Now she realized her mistake and she comes to her normal behavior.
Okay, so woman has intelligence, but she will use when the emotions fail.
Not like that. Don't come to judgment. See, she has logic and reasoning also, but her emotions overpowered the logic and reasoning previously.
Okay,
So it is like that.
thank
She
you.
had high expectations from her father, but her father failed fulfilling those expectations. See, we are not done with, we have just started to did 2 verses. There are 13 more verses are there. Next week we'll see.
Okay.
So because one verse will not give us conclusive understanding. We need to go through the entire discussion. Then we'll get a conclusive understanding.
Thank you.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna will stop here. Class is there. Dates I mentioned. Next week. Next week we have class. The week after that I mentioned the dates. 2nd we don't have class, and 9th we don't have class. Not tomorrow. Not next week. We'll stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्त वृंद की जय।